Jerry Ashton here again with 15 Minutes of Fact on WGRNradio.com and with a very special guest and discussing a very special subject, whistleblowing. And when people think of whistleblowing, at least in my experience, they generally picture a conscientious person willing to reveal corporate evildoing in spite of the likely repercussions. This is in keeping with Wikipedia's definition, which says that a whistleblower, or describes a whistleblower as a person who tells the public or someone in authority about alleged dishonest or illegal activities. But Wikipedia does not address or identify, and what most people are barely aware of, is what I consider to be the collateral damage, the profound impact on that person's family and social life. Once the job is lost and the income disappears, what happens next? So our guest, Alicia Marie Almonte, being the daughter of a well-known corporate whistleblower, Linda Almonte, will share that experience with you. An ongoing emotional, physical, and economic storm that has tossed her brother, and her sister's lives about like matchsticks for almost 3 full years, and still taking its toll. For those of you who aren't aware of Alicia's mother, for background, Linda Almonte is the woman who's been involved in an ongoing battle with J.P. Morgan Chase over her dismissal from that banking firm for refusing to sign off on the sale of allegedly bad credit card debt totaling more than $250 million. She refused to sign off on it because it was flawed for various reasons. All you have to do is Google Linda Almonte and you'll learn more about that. But I can tell you that her case has received national attention in the press, including the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, American Banker, locally with the San Antonio Express News, and a visit from 60 Minutes. So Linda Almonte's 13-year-old daughter, Alicia Marie Almonte, is on the program with us from her residence in San Antonio, Texas, and will share with us her experience of being in that kind of limelight. So welcome to the show today, Alicia, and thank you for being willing to share your experiences with our audience.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, Alicia, I know that this is not an easy subject for you to discuss. When your mother lost her job, you were only 10 years old at the time, and now, fast forward 3 years, you're 13. So that must feel like a lifetime to you. So tell us about the experience.
It's been hard, but we all try to keep like a positive attitude to get through it.
And how easy it is to have a positive attitude when you're bouncing from pillar to post.
Yeah, it's not easy, but we try, so.
Well, let's put a timeline or a chronology on what's happened over these past 3 years for you, your father, your mother, your brother, 2 sisters, and grandfather. Now, this adventure started on November 30th in 2009, almost 3 years ago. Now, I understand that your family remained in San Antonio and then left for Florida in January the following year. So you all remained in San Antonio for almost a year. So what was that last year like before your family lost the apartment and had to relocate to Florida?
It was crazy because like financial issues, we couldn't do things with the school or like do things with friends and stuff. So it was just financial issues. It was hard until we lost the apartment.
So what does the term homeless mean to you now?
Living in a hotel.
Yes. Did you meet other kids having that same experience?
No. Well, when we moved to Florida, when we were living in a hotel, we met some kids from the church and stuff, but not really. No friends or anything.
So in a way, you were lucky that you didn't end up in some of the homeless motels, but you were still not exactly having much of a home as an anchor. How did you handle that? How did your brothers and sisters handle that?
It was hard. All of us like in a hotel room, like all 6 of us in a hotel room together, and at times it was like we would fight and stuff, but at the end we all like knew like I don't know.
It's that basically you had to pull together if you're going to all survive. If one of us you were to survive, it had to be everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you've told me before that there were 5 things that affected you the most, and I'm going to list them in orders as I heard you say them. Number 1 is having to leave friends. Number 2 was stress for the whole family. Number 3, getting far behind in school. And number 4, your mother always being on the phone with lawyers, and number 5, no money, nothing in the budget that would allow you to participate in school and sporting events. So I'm going to go down those, and I want you to give me an idea of what your sense was at that time. Number 1, having to leave friends.
It was hard because having, like, when we were in Texas, I was there since 2nd grade, and 2nd grade to 6th grade, and having to leave all those friends, it was hard, but yeah, so.
Well, I understand that you're back in school today, as a matter of fact. So what was it like for your friends to be reacquainted with you?
It was exciting seeing all of them. Everyone was like freaking out and excited. They were like, Alicia's back. So it was fun.
That must have been great. But I do know that even getting back into school was not easy. What was that all about?
The schools were capped and they weren't letting me in, and it was kind of devastating because coming from Florida to here, I was like, yay, I get to finally not be the new kid. I get to be back with friends. I don't have to go back and like have no friends, go to a different school and stuff. I was really excited because I was like, I get to be back with all my friends. And then they told me it was capped and I would have to go to a different school named Lopez, and I had no friends there, so I wasn't really sure what was going to happen.
Well, knowing your family, knowing your mother, knowing the friends that pulled around you, apparently enough friendly pressure was placed on the school to cause them to rethink that.
Yes, it was, and I'm super excited now because I'm with them, so big thanks to my mom.
Well, let's talk about the stress part for the whole family. Certainly you were stressed, and basically you were stressed because you had left friends behind. You were living in the hotels, but you're not the only child there. And I use the word child not to offend you. Let's just say they're adult, they're grown-ups, and then there's you kids, right? So what was it like for your brother?
It was hard on him, just as hard as it was on us. I mean, we all fell behind on school and stuff. Mm-hmm. We were all in the same hotel, so I guess it was like the same situation for both of us, for all of us.
Yeah. Well, what did you guys do to handle that stress? I mean, other than fight with each other, which apparently that must have gotten pretty old. What did you do to relieve stress?
I don't know. Well, I always thought like other people had it worse. Yeah. So I tried not to like feel bad for myself. Mm-hmm. So, but it was hard.
Yeah. So. I noticed you use the word hard a lot.
Yeah.
That's what comes to your mind when you think of what you've had to go through. Well, one of those hard things, of course, was getting so far behind in school because you had to stay at hotels. I understand that you attempted home teaching for a while, and then you did get into a school. Tell us about that.
Well, when we were living in hotels for a while, all of us, me, my brother, and my sister, we fell back really behind on school because living from hotel to hotel, like, we didn't know what school to go to, so we ended up we didn't go to school, and we did do some homeschooling, but it didn't really work out. So yes. I'm glad to be back in school, but it was hard, and I'm behind now, so I'm trying to work hard and catch up and stuff. So. Well,
you have another sister, Miranda, who apparently is with family up in where?
New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire, uh-huh.
Yeah, she fell out of us 3 kids. She fell the most behind, so she's up in New Hampshire and she's trying to catch up and really like get into back to the way it used to be before all this happened.
Yeah, the way it used to be. Well, let me ask you about the other problem that you had, and that is your mother being on the phone all the time with lawyers or trying to find work or talking to reporters or people like me. What was that like?
It was hard because if I had to ask her a question or just even talk to her, she was always on the phone or always with lawyers, and it was hard to try to communicate with her and just have a mother-daughter relationship because she was always on the phone and stuff.
Well, hopefully that one of the things about being back in San Antonio, you'll be able to achieve that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, let's talk about the last thing, and that is once a paycheck disappears, there's nothing in any budget which allows participation in what everybody else considers to be a normal part of life, which might even include going out and having an ice cream together.
Yeah,
So,
it was. Oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead. And?
It was hard because not knowing like what you were gonna eat next, and not knowing like just what money you were gonna get in and stuff. It was hard because, especially because when we did have money, we used to do a lot of things together, go out to eat and participate in school activities, which sports now cost money to get in. And it was hard because I was so used to being in sports and doing a whole bunch of things with my friends and going shopping and this and that. From going from that to just nothing, it was a big change.
Well, trying not to bother your mother or your father for money because you really understand that there's none there.
Yeah.
And yet you seem to have approached that with a philosophy that as bad off as it was for you kids, there was always somebody down the street or somewhere else who was having it just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah. So
how'd you come up with thinking like that?
Just trying to stay positive,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
So where'd you learn how to stay positive?
I don't know. I just always thought, think positive and stuff. I mean, my mom is a strong person, so I guess I'm a strong person. I guess I follow after her.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, you have a pretty good role model there. So tell me about this saying. There's an old saying that says, "What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger." Is that true of you?
Yeah, because over these past almost 3 years, I've definitely became more mature and stronger in areas that I don't think I would have if this would have happened. Just financially, myself when I'm older and stuff, and just the jobs I would take now that I would have, I don't know, the jobs I would have taken then would not be the jobs I would take now as an adult. So.
Mm-hmm. So, how about the rest of your family? Who's grown the strongest besides you? Because you sound pretty strong to me.
I think my sister and my mom.
You think so, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we got to get those men folks of yours educated. Maybe they're learning a lot from watching you kids. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you had a magic wand, what would you change about your life?
I would probably go back to the day before Chase did that to my mom. Mm-hmm. Before the whole thing happened, just the day before.
In other words, you'd give a lot just to be able to have your old life back.
Yep.
And yet Chase fired your mother. Obviously, not unkind words were said about her and her performance. You know your mother better than that, and you know what she's done to fight back. So even though you can't go back and change things, and even though you do feel that you're a stronger person because of it, what type of job would you like to see your mother have in the future so that you think she'll be respected differently, or that you'd be able to have a paycheck to hope for every week?
I'm not really sure.
Maybe lotto.
Just, I don't know. I can't say what job I would like her to take because I don't want to speak for her. But just a decent paying job, and just something that gets us a paycheck every month or every 2 weeks.
Okay.
An income that's fluent.
Were you ever even familiar with the term whistleblower before this happened?
No idea. I had no idea.
and when the press showed up and started interviewing you kids and your mother, what was it like to be asked questions by reporters?
It was, I don't know if I should say this. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, of course.
It was kind of scary and intimidating in a way. I don't know. It was just I don't know. It was cool yet scary. A big change again. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, you realize that this interview might frighten off a lot of whistleblowers from doing a very, very important thing for their country and for their employer. and that is to bring truth out so that people can look at it. Do you think we should be scaring people out of the idea of becoming whistleblowers?
No, I don't. I don't think this interview should scare anyone from becoming a whistleblower because they would be. It's just being a I don't think that my mom did anything wrong for doing it, because just as a citizen or a normal person, or just, you should do that yourself knowing that it's wrong, not like I just think it's wrong, so it shouldn't scare anybody off. It should, I guess, empower them or influence them to do so.
Well, you're a pretty good example for why situations like that can really strengthen the family if they can survive it. So if you knew that another kid your age came up to you and they told you that one of his or her parents had decided to become a whistleblower, what advice would you give that kid?
To stay positive and make a lesson out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, Alicia Marie Almonte, I want to thank you so much for sharing your time and your story with us. I know that all of our audience wishes only the best for you and your family in the future. Now, I want to tell people that if they want to get in touch with you, they can write me here at wgrnradio.com, and I'll be sure to make the connection, because I'm sure a lot of people would like to know more about your story and who you are. Is there any last thoughts you'd like to leave us with?
Not that I know of.
You're pretty much thought out, are you?
Yeah.
Well, once again, I want to thank you so much for spending some time with us at wgrnradio.com. 15 minutes of fact. Sherry Ashton, signing off.